I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Okay, today it is time to review the Calgary Barbell program, the 16-week program, and this is my second version of the Johnny Hazel review and my variant on this program. So, do I like this program? Well, of course I do. I've reviewed it twice and I've used it a few times myself, but there are a few things I dislike about it. Like with all programs, you're going to have the good parts and the bad parts. So let's start on the training maxes page. So first thing you have to do is enter your 1 rep maxes. Now this isn't like the original program. In the original program there was only the 3 main lifts. I have added in other lifts. Okay, and the SLDL is your stiff leg deadlift, and I say that's about 50% of your deadlift 1 rep max. If you want to get your stiff leg deadlift max, that's what I use. Second thing you need to do is put in either 5 or 2.5, 5 for pounds, 2.5 for kilograms. Now here is the RPE to percentage of 1 rep max conversion table. Is it 100% accurate? No. Is it useful? Yes. Have I used it to change RPEs to percentages? Absolutely yes. But with this program, if you're looking at that on one day and it's telling you to do 3 sets of 4 at a percentage of 89% of your 1 rep max, and you know that is not on the cards for that day, and you don't think that that's actually possible, then what you can do is go back to this document right here, take the percentage that you were meant to do. So if it was meant to be 89% for 3 reps, come back here and find out what the RP is. So if we said 89% for 3 reps, we know it would be an RP of 9. So what you can do instead is then work up, do a couple of warm-up sets, and then work up to your first working set. So if you're meant to do 4 sets of 3, work up to that weight that you can. The next set will be an RP of 9 for 3 reps. Okay, and then when we look at the RPE scale and we say it is 9 in this instance right here, you could definitely done 1 more rep. So you know for sure that RPE of a 9 is that it's going to be a weight that you know you could do 1 more rep. You can definitely do it. It's not kind of like maybe I could have done it, not sure. It's a definite. Okay, so if you warmed up for, let's say in your warm-up you get to 4 reps, 145 kilograms, and you've got to do 3 reps, then you might want to do like 147.5 kilograms for 3 reps, and you know you've got 1 left on the tank. So you can do it this way. I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head. So if you are not happy with some of the percentages in the program, go back to the RPE conversion chart and just reverse it. So instead of trying to find the percentage, you try to find the RP. Once you've done that, go to your RPE scale here and just check what the RP is, what it represents. Could you maybe do 3 more? Definitely do 2 more, whatever one it is on here. These are the RPEs right here, and this is the description of what it should feel like. So there we go. So there's a few things then here. We'll disregard that for now. The plus F is a fatigue set. That means you go down by 5% in load and do the same reps. The plus R is a repeat set. So you repeat reps at the same load. You'll see that towards the end of the program. So once you've done all that, you entered your maxes, you familiarized yourself with the RPE to percentage scale, then you can get started. Now I split it into 4 training blocks and then the final week, which you're preparing for your competition. I like to work like that. Before it was labelled as in week 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 13, blah blah blah. I just like to think in terms of training blocks. And each of these training blocks does have a very specific objective. I'd say the first training block is quite sort of hypertrophy focused. There's higher volume, higher reps per set, lower percentages, and it's quite introductory. So it's kind of introducing you to the program. You're getting accustomed to it. You're building up that strength. You're not just jumping straight in doing high intensity workouts, 89, 90% maximal loads, low volume. You've got a lot going on here. You've got some good hypertrophy based exercises, some accessory isolation based exercises. You're doing less competition lifting, more sort of hypertrophy accessory assistance work, and this is a good sort of block 1 to get you ready for the next few blocks. Right, as you can see here, it is a 4-day-a-week routine. You can do a Monday, Tuesday, and then a Thursday, Friday, or whatever works for you. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, whatever training schedule works for you. So we start day 1. It's all written there for you very clearly. The people who are listening to this program should really be at least an intermediate lifter at this point in time. You should be very familiarized with these exercises, and know what they are, know the terminology: sets, reps, intensity. Intensity means the percentage or the RPE, the load means the weight. This is stuff you should really know by now if you're looking to do this program. So all in all, it's all pretty self-explanatory here. We've got the competition and the pause bench. Now the pause for in this instance can be however long you like. I'd say 2 to 3 seconds, no more, no less. You've got 3 other exercises that you're doing at higher volume, but it implies low intensity. So for the strict overhead barbell press, 3 sets of 8, choose a weight you can do for maybe 9 reps, 10 reps, and just do 3 sets for that. Same with the pendlay barbell rows and the GHR back extensions. So as you can see here, we've got 3 kind of accessory, high volume, more tailored toward hypertrophy and just acclimatizing yourself to the program exercises. Day 2, we are doing the competition, deadlift. You've got your 3-second pause, front squat, wide grip, seated row, which is your kind of your hypertrophy, isolation-based exercising. The first 3 are pretty self-explanatory here. The percentages are written there, the load, the reps that you should be doing. Now with the pause, it says quite clearly there, that's a 3-second pause competition deadlift. You should know this, but it's the one you use at the competition, sumo, conventional, whichever one. The pin squat, pins set for full depth. That means the pins are not set for you to hit parallel, just above parallel, just below. A full depth squat, where the depth that will get you the 3 white lights at powerlifting competition. So not necessarily asked to grass squat, but a good 3 lights squat with proper depth. No quarter repping. So the pins will be set in a position where you're hitting the appropriate depth. You need to make sure those pins are set properly. Then you do the 1 board press. I changed that from 2 to 1. 1 arm dumbbell, and then the bird dogs. You should know what they are by now. It's a great exercise to do. 1 arm dumbbell rows, one of my favorite rows. I love using the dumbbells for rows. And the board press is kind of self-explanatory. It's just using 1, not 2. Day 4, what's going on there? It's been wrapped. Okay, so you got the 2-second pause deadlift, pause barely off the floor, and so that kind of gives you an idea where you should be pausing. Rep bench is touch and go, meaning there's no pauses. It touches the chest. You just touch and go for high volume work, lower percentages, lower intensity. Then you've got your stiff leg deadlift, again slightly more volume, less intensity. And then we've got lat pull downs and tricep press downs. Pretty simple there. So block 2 is week 5 to 8. You are now starting to get into your powerlifting competition mode. We've got day 1 competition squat, competition pause bench. When you do this program, it's the pause press is basically what you're going to be doing at a competition. When you do an IPF competition, it's not a touch and go bench press. Okay, they will require you to do a sufficient amount of pausing on the chest to make sure that you've got the depth. So you're not going to just touch your chest and then they're going to say, all right, go, up, get the bar up, basically. No, they're pretty ruthless. I mean, I've been at a competition before where I had to pause at least what felt like 10 seconds, but I think it was about 3.4 seconds on the chest. So it's good to train with a paused bench press because that's what you're going to do at competition. You're not going to get to any IPF sanctioned competition event and they're going to just let you touch and go. No, it's never going to work like that. So it's good to train your pause benching. Then you've got your stiff leg deadlift and your side planks. Day 2 competition, we're coming back to competition deadlifting for a varying of percentages and rep schemes. We've got the 2-second pause. We'll come back to the pause pressing, competition squat, wide grip seated row. Pretty self-explanatory there. Now we come to day 3. We've got the 2-second pause front squats. I've changed this to front squats, competition pause, bench press. You're back on the pausing for the bench. Competition means what grip you would apply when you're at the competition, and then you do competition deadlift and then do some shrugs. Day 4, I've changed it to rack pulls from shin level. Rack pulls from shin level. It was something else before. I've changed it because you're using higher intensity, so you want to kind of use using the rack pulls, focusing on trying to get that lockout strength. Touch and go bench press, dumbbell pec flies, and 1-arm dumbbell rows. So there we go. That's block 2. You're getting closer now to getting into the zone to start preparing for the meet. So we'll move on to the next one. So here we go, block 3, week 9 to week 11. Right, the percentages now are really more tailored towards getting closer to maximal loads, working up. You're now focusing mainly in this 3-week period on your competition lifts and doing variations on those competition lifts to fix sticking points. That's the purpose of this training block. We are now moving away from sort of block 1, block 2 work, which is kind of hypertrophy based. There's a lot more accessory exercises incorporated. That's in the past now. We're moving on to focusing on our competition lifts. Percentages are interesting. Here we got 82% on day 1 for the competition squat, and then we do 2 back off sets at 71%. Same applies for the pause bench. Pause, how long? 2 to 3 seconds, let's say. Then you do 2 assistance accessory exercises. Day 2, competition deadlift. We're going to do 4 sets, 482, then 2 sets, 4, kind of 2 back off sets at 71%. Going to do some pin press, chest work. Okay, that means you set the pins up so the bar is just level with the chest. That's what you need to do with that one. You can do competition squats, pretty low percentages there, pretty low load for 3 sets of 5. And then some wide grip seated rows. Day 3, you can do some parallel pin squats. Now here we got the F and R coming in. F stands for failure sets. That means you just reduce the load by 5% and then do it for the same number of reps. R means repeat sets. Use the same number of reps and the same loads. If it says 2R, that means 2 repeat sets. If it says 3R, that means 3. If it means 1, it means 1. Simple as that. Then you are going to do some competition deadlift work again and some low rows. Day 4 is the 2-second pause deadlifting just off the floor, and that means probably maximum about mid-shin, I would say. Pretty simple there. We got 1 set of 4 at 70%, then you do 2 failure sets. We've got bench mini band work, some barbell overhead pressing, and some 1-arm dumbbell rows. There we go, that's that. Now with the RPE stuff, how do I know what RPE is? Here's the RPE scale. You convert it from there. So 4 reps, RPE of 8. Let's go 4, 8, boom. We know that would be 84%. Alternatively, come here and have a look at this. RPE of 8 means you could have definitely done 2 more reps. There we go. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next week. So training block 4, we're going to do week 12 to 15, 4 weeks. Intensity's gone up. You can see quite evidently straight away, 86 to 92% here for the competition squat and the competition pause bench. We're going to do some strict overhead barbell stuff for 2 failure sets, 1 failure, 2 repeat sets, and then 1 failure set. That's really kind of just accessory work. Don't overthink that. These are the main focuses of those exercises. Then day 2, we're going to do competition deadlifting. Percentages have gone up, 86 to 92%. Very low reps now. Our back off sets are lower, the percentages. But we're doing some slightly higher rep sets. Do some 2-second pause bench work for some repeat and failure sets. We're going to work up to 92% in week 14, then back off slightly to 84% in week 15. Day 3 and day 4, I've included the RP for the last few. Let's talk about the first 2 exercises. We're going to do some parallel pin squats, set the pins up so it's the squat depth is parallel. Don't go too low with this one, that's why I've made it parallel. You're going to work all the way up to 1 set of 1 at 92%. As I said before, this is very high intensity week. We're now at maximal effort loads right towards the end of this program. But even starting at 86%, then 89%, that's pretty high intensity work. Then we're going to do some close grip bench pressing, working on those triceps. RP of 9 for 1 set and then 2 failure sets. The RPs are written quite clearly there. And then day 4, we're going to do some 2-second pause deadlifting, probably about mid-shin level. I would say that's the right place to pause for 2 seconds. Again, we're going to work with the RPE scale on this one. And you can see we've got a couple of we've got 2 failure sets. We're going to do some repeat sets as well. Then some touch and go bench pressing. It's good to do this every now and then, especially after doing so much variation work with a bench press in this program. It's nice to have these touch and go sets. There we go, that's the final training block, and then you move on to the final week, the taper week, where you're going to really chase some big numbers. So let's move on to that. So, final week of the training program. So what you're going to mainly be doing here is testing your openers and doing some sort of sub-maximal load training work just to prepare yourself for the competition. But the goal for this week is really to try and find what that opener will be. So once you know what your opener should be, you should know your second and third attempt. Alternatively, if you're chasing a PR in the gym, testing that opener means you know the following week when you're going to chase a PR in the gym what you want to do, what your attempts will be to try and find that new personal record for that lift in the gym. So at least you have a good indication here what your opener should be. Then you can kind of calculate what your second and third attempt will be at the competition, or what you're going to do when you get in the gym following week and chase your PR. So it's all pretty self-explanatory there. There's nothing really to over-explain. The percentages are there, the rep scheme's there, number of sets, number of reps, all there. So there we go, that's the program. It's a great program, and it's easy for me because I don't have to over-explain everything because it's all pretty much self-explanatory. So good luck with this program. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments, comment on YouTube or message me on Instagram. You'll find that link below. You'll also find the link to the program below in the description section. So enjoy, good luck.